Coming out of a 3 week training and then trying to do the tourist thing with members of the training that are still here, I finally crashed after a month of going. And I realized today, there's certain things I need to get back into that really helped me keep my days grounded and also keep me organized because several things happened today. I I wanted to get a bunch of stuff done because life's been lifing, even though I've been in training and doing excursions. I went to a ceremony last night with the owners of my guest house, which has been so amazing. So I'm super happy I did all of it. And now I'm paying the price. I have a little bit of a cold coming on, and so yeah, today I wanted to get a bunch of stuff done and I realized I need to get back to some old habits I was forming before this training. And part of that was because oftentimes when I'm doing YouTube or Instagram, I tend to I'll be creating stuff, but then I'll also be on the platforms trying to get inspiration and ideas. And then I tend to go down these rabbit holes. And then the same thing happens when I'm doing bookkeeping. Like today, I had to catch up on 3 weeks of bookkeeping, and that was intense because between paying with credit card and cash, if I'm not writing it down, like sometimes cash, you're just paying meals and taxis and whatever in cash, and it's from 3 weeks ago, there's no way I'm going to remember those transactions. So a method I was using before this training was I scheduled important stuff every single day. So my YouTube videos are scheduled every day, and I try to only spend about an hour making them, so recording them, posting them, coming up with titles, descriptions, thumbnails. And I don't usually do editing. I try to only post exactly as I filmed it because I want to keep it authentic and real. Which, by the way, if you're liking my videos, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you've how your life's been going and any organizational uh, methods you use that help you with your daily routines. Anyway, I was setting aside time for everything that I wanted to do every day. Again, bookkeeping, daily videos, Instagram reels, um, just even journaling and coffee and reading a book. I didn't necessarily schedule them in, but I would set aside time blocks for it. So what I started to do is set aside 1 hour for each thing. And it worked really well for me, especially with bookkeeping, because after the first day, especially coming back after not doing the books for a while, the first day is like a full hour. And once the timer goes off, I save all my work. I kind of notate or mark where I left it. And then I come back to it the next day. And what's great is as the week goes on, as I do it daily, it turns into a 10 or 15-minute task maximum. So I really like trying to do that daily as a practice just because it makes it keeps the mind clean and not all jumbled with, oh, don't forget to write down that one thing and don't forget to write down that other thing and whatever. So, and then with Instagram, YouTube, posting content daily, it's always good to do time blocks because the rabbit holes are real. And I haven't been strict about what I spend my time block on as long as I create in that time block. So if I start rabbit holing to connect with other people or find inspiration, things like that, I try to make sure that I actually create first and then get on Instagram. But if I'm trying to find inspiration, I will set like a 15-minute timer just so I don't spiral into like hours and hours and hours. Not that it's usually hours and hours, but I hate getting to the end of my hour and I still haven't posted the thing or I haven't saved the thing. So 1 hour time blocks is really helpful. And at first, especially with YouTube, it took me more than an hour. So I would be generous with myself on certain things. If I wasn't familiar with it, I would set aside like 2 hours and then just time it. And after that like hour timer goes up, again, save the work, put it away. If there's just like one little thing that needs to be done, I would often do it and I would go over, but I would set another timer for like 15 minutes later so that it didn't turn into me fixing the one thing and then that one little thing turning into four more things. So I would set like like almost like a snooze on an alarm. Yeah. It would go off in an hour and I'd be like, oh, but I have 10 minutes worth of stuff I just need to do. So it's like I would hit a little snooze timer. Um, but those really helped me keep on like a daily schedule and this daily time blocks where I didn't get to the end of my day feeling like I had rabbit holed into the abyss and have nothing to show for it. Or maybe I have my videos to show for it. However, in the amount of time I spent online doing whatever, I could have made 10 of them. So that's been super helpful. And also writing down what I need to do helps. I feel like I can get a bit scatterbrained and I'm pretty sharp. I think most mornings, it's weird, I had to think about this. Mornings are probably my best time to write down like the to-do list of things I want to do for the day. And again, putting kind of grouping things into time blocks. And then also giving myself grace that if something didn't happen, it can go on tomorrow's to-do list. The trick is to to try and make sure, you know, even if I just do one thing on the to-do list, like be happy I did it and not mad about the other 10 things I didn't do. But yeah, giving myself grace, giving myself some compassion on getting things done and knowing, especially I tend to be more focused in the morning, but I tend to be more creative in the afternoon after I've done something and gone somewhere and had a few conversations with people. That's when I usually make these videos. That's why it's usually later in the day. Uh, and so yeah, kind of spacing the time blocks out too, instead of trying to fit 3 hours of work in the morning. I might do 2 hours worth of stuff and then save my, say, YouTube time block for the afternoon. And yeah, just thought I'd go over that because I was thinking today how these 3 weeks doing this training, I really got out of my routine and my schedule and I got into the routine of the training, which was great. And I'm trying to incorporate some of those things into my daily life, yoga practice, meditation, things like that. And it's been difficult. Well, for one, it's been difficult because I've been tootling around, doing excursions and doing the ceremony. But also, like today, it was one of those things where I'm like, oh gosh, where do I fit this in? Because before training, I would do all these things between, say, like 8 and 11. Well, now since training, I kind of want, that first part of the morning to be dedicated to um, some yoga practice and things like that. So I have to adjust my schedule. And so I'm going to spend the next few days getting that dialed in. So hopefully some of this helps if you're having trouble scheduling out certain things in your day or rabbit holing. The timers definitely help me. So I hope you have a good one.